quick apology out. I'm just getting over the flu, so if I happen to cough or something, I will try to click the mic and shut it off just for a second. But sometimes I'm not able to get there fast enough. I also want to let you know that I welcome questions. So as long as I can see the question chat, and I think I can, I love questions during my presentation, so please don't be bashful. I've got 23 slides today, a few charts, a few slides without charts, and I think I've got something to share that I think would be very, very good today. So let's get started. The title of my webinar today is Road to Wealth. And hi, by the way, my name is Rick Sadler. I'm the guy down here on the bottom left of my screen. And I want to thank the Active Traders series and how humbling it is to be asked to come to these and speak with people like Thomas Wood, Michael Guess, and Barry Burns. It's extremely humbling. So thank you so very much for inviting me. I would like a quick shout out that all my charts you see are thanks to TC2000. I want to give them credit where credit is due. Let's get through a quick disclaimer here. Today's webinar, workshop, and all related materials are intended for educational purposes only. I'm not going to read through this whole thing. So if you wouldn't mind just going through it and taking a little read. Bottom line, trading is very, very risky, and you should only trade with money that you can afford to lose. Don't trade with your house payment, thinking you're going to make next month's payment. That's just not a good plan. So be very, very careful, be very diligent, and know that without education, no trading tips are worth a darn. I don't even think trading tips are worth a darn, actually, but you've got to have that education. And remember, past performance does not guarantee future results. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about the beginning. I've actually been trading for 31 years now. And when I first started, I worked full-time. Like most traders starting out, unless you've retired from work. I worked for full-time, and I traded part-time trying to raise a family. What a tough way to go. And it really is. So I want to really reach out to those that are trying to do this. I do know what you're going through. I do know what it means to be stretched. And I know what it means to be successful too. Somewhere along the line, early on, I made a commitment to learn how to trade. I wanted the trader's lifestyle. I liked the idea of the trader's lifestyle. I liked the idea of working from a home office if I wanted, come and go when I wanted. But it took a commitment. It took a massive commitment. I studied charts, webinars, books. I did whatever it took to create success. I paid for webinars. I took trials everywhere. I learned from everybody that I could. And it takes a little bit. And that's something I'm going to touch on just a tad later. I'm going to try not to touch on this in the beginning, but I am going to touch on this a little bit later. Now, one of the things I have here is, who am I talking to in this room today? And I don't know. I don't know if you're a new trader. Are you brand new? Did you start last week? Today? Is today the first day you will ever look at a chart? I don't know. Are you a struggling trader? I don't know if you're a struggling trader. So I don't know anybody here that's in the room. I don't know if you're a struggling trader. Let's do something different there. I don't know if you're a right on the edge trader. Are you right at that edge where you're so close to maybe going full time, or maybe even making money to buy a new car, or being able to cover the payment on a new car, or being able to cover, that extra income to cover your house payment or something like that? I don't know. Are you an experienced trader? I don't know. I do not know who is here. I will say that this presentation is for everybody, but in the end, I really want to talk to the new traders, the struggling traders, and right on the edge traders. The experienced, profitable traders, you know most of what I'm going to say. You know, you've been there. You've had your whatever years experience. You have worked your full-time job. You have traded part-time. You've either raising or have raised your family. You have made the commitment. So I'm not at all trying to leave you out, and I hope maybe I can share a great idea for you, maybe a different way to look at something. So, all right, let's get on here. How do I move my... There we go. Here's something I want to show you real quick. This is my website, and what I want to do is, don't do it right now. Please don't do it right now. It's going to be there. It's not going to go away. But if you go to our website and you look under trading results, and this is what you're going to get, this trading, and then I'm going to go to the trading results and look at my trading results. This is my trading results as of December 31, 2018, starting out in December 2017, which I actually started trading in January. I just opened the account December. Started it with $5,100, and the close of December 31 was $20,786. That's a 307% increase. On the website, I also show my bank statement. I show the front cover of my bank statement. I don't show each and every trade because honestly, that's not going to help you one iota, not one tiny bit. But I do show this just to show proof and to show that it's real, because I think that's important. Transparency is important. And you can go down here and click on each statement here. There's the December statement, the one just put up, and 20,786. Which December, you can see that I had a down month for December, just like I had a down month, what was that, August right here. Traders are like charts. You have good and you have bad. It happens. Not every trade is a winning trade. Not every day is a winning day. Not every week is a winning week. And not every month is a winning month. It's what you do overall. Remember, trading is a commitment. So let's come over here. Now I want to show you, this is not on the website because it's not official with my statement. But this is what I closed out yesterday, Friday. What was Friday? The 18th. So January 18th, I closed out the end of the day with $25,915. That's a 400% gain since I started trading in January of 2018. What I'm trying to show you here is it's real. It can happen. It can be done. That's what I'm trying to show you here. And not to give up. It's so important not to give up and not get discouraged. But there are a tremendous amount of hurdles we have to jump over personally, hurdles we have to jump over as traders. There are so many things we have to learn, but they're not so many that it's impossible. It's really just a few things, but sometimes our emotions take us in a direction that really causes more problems. So, one second here. Apologize. I hope that worked out. Had to have a little cough in my throat. Okay. Like I said, I've traded for 31 years now, and 30 years of that, I've never traded an option. That is a true story. I have never, ever, ever, ever traded an option. Not until January 2018. So what I did is I opened up a small account of $5,100. And I wanted to show that the new traders or struggling traders, traders that don't have a lot of money maybe, you don't have to have a lot of money to start trading. Don't get me wrong though. It's impossible to open a $5,100 account up and make a living. That's not going to happen. I can't make a living on my account that I'm currently trading. That's impossible. Can't do it. Not even if you eat dog food. I also wanted to learn for myself, prove to our members, prove to people coming on board, prove to people with those smaller accounts what you can do with a small account. And I call $5,000 a small account. You could start this with 1,000 if you wanted. You could absolutely do that. And by doing this and by posting it on the website, making that commitment to put it on the website, that was commitment and transparency. Kind of ballsy, actually. Pretty darn ballsy, to tell you the truth. Because win or lose, just like December, I lost money in December. My account did not go up over what November was. And that, I think that's solid proof. So every month, if you go to the website, first of the month, about the first week after, it takes 4 or 5 days for them to get the statement out, you'll see my brokerage statement out, the front page, showing how we went right there. And I call that the Hit and Run Candlesticks Road to Wealth 2018 project. Started that a year ago, and it's continuing as we go now. Okay, what I'm going to look at today is just, I only have about 45, 50 minutes here. So it's kind of hard to get into some full-fledged trading and all the little ins and outs and everything. So we're going to try to skim over a few things. And again, if there's any questions, I'll certainly do my best to help out. I've got no super duper sales pitch for you. No super duper offers, no free trials, anything like that. Just, I want to share how it can be done. That's all. The first thing, remember that I said I've never traded an option in my life until about a year ago. And to this day, well, I started with only directional options, calls and puts. Directional option, calls and puts. To this day, that's all I do. As of right now, I can tell you, in the near future, I have no desire to do anything other than directional calls and puts. That's it. I don't do any fancy stuff. It's pretty simple. So I would call that a rule for myself. Another rule that I'm going to look at on my basic option plan is I want the open interest to be at least 10 times the amount of my purchase. So I use TradeHawk, by the way, as my trading platform. So I have EA up here. So I might be looking at interest of, and I can tell you now, we're going to be looking at the March 85 strike. And we've got 2.497 here, and that's plenty open interest for me. A delta, 70-ish for calls, and minus 70-ish for puts. So the second, which that's actually, number one, I'm going to go out. I probably should have done this a little bit backwards. My first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look 40 days plus out. So the March 15 works out pretty fine. Then I'm going to look for that 70-ish delta, and here we are at 73 right there. I don't know if you can see that. I guess everyone can. Let's make that bigger. There we go. That's 73 delta right there. Then I'm going to make sure the open interest is okay, and that works out as well. So everything's looking pretty good here. This is my bid, and this is my ask price. That's all I'm looking for. That's all the information I need to know. I want to remind everybody, especially option traders that really get into some crazy stuff, you're probably thinking about, what about all that other stuff? And I'm not even going to talk about it, but I'm looking for short-term swing trades, and I'm using the options to simply capitalize on my money, leverage my money. I'm still trading by the chart. The only thing I'm doing with the option is leveraging my money. That is it. I can spend less money on a position. Can you imagine buying EA? That's pretty expensive stock. For some folks, it may not be expensive. For other folks, it can be. But can you imagine buying a bunch of shares of EA? Pretty expensive. I can spend less than $2,000, buy 1, 2, 3 contracts maybe, make $400, $500, $600, $700, $800. So your layout, your risk is less, and if you have a good understanding of how to trade a chart, then your risk is even your risk versus reward is right. So lower risk, higher reward. And here's a few basic bullish, my basic bullish chart. Again, we only have so much time here, so I'm limited to what I can do and try to cover as much as I can cover. Number one, I want an uptrending chart. Now, over the years, I've learned that an uptrending chart is kind of suggestive. What is an uptrending chart? Here's EA. Is that an uptrending chart or is that a downtrending chart? Depends what kind of trader you are. It depends what your trading rules are. Me, I look at this right here. To me, that's an uptrending chart. That's a chart that's starting to reverse. We've gone from a red downtrend to a green uptrend. And as long as I can make sense of the trade, as long as I can say to myself, what's in it for me, with them, what's in it for me? Can I make money if this chart runs up toward, and these are moving averages. We'll talk about those a little bit later. Well, the answer is yes, I can. Another thing I want in a basic bullish chart setup is I want to wait for a pullback or consolidation, which I have it listed here in 2 different words. To me personally as a trader, they're the exact same thing. There is no difference to me as a trader between a pullback and consolidation. So for instance, if we look at EA right here, let me make this a little smaller. Let's do this. There we go. You see this right here? This is pullback and consolidation. And I want to wait for a buy signal. Do we have, arrow. Do we have a buy signal in here? Yes, we do. Do we have another buy signal or maybe even confirmation? Yes, we do. Do we have a breakout showing confirmation? Yes, we do. The other basic bullish chart plan that I want to always be thinking about is profits. And when I think about profits, all I think about is base hits. I don't think about home runs. Home runs is another suggestive term. For instance, if all you have is say $5,000 in your trading account, a stock moves up $500, well, to you that might be a home run. I mean, that might be a grand slam, right? But to somebody that has $1 million in their trading account and it moves up $500, that's a first base hit. Maybe it's a second base hit. So how much money you make can be suggestive. It really can be. Base hits can be suggestive. What is a home run? What is a first base? This is something you've got to work out with yourself. I can tell you right now, I see $200, $300, $400, $500. I'm excited. Man, I'm on base. And unlike baseball, you've got to go all the way home to score. Trading, unlike baseball, you just have to get to first base to score. Second base is a little bit more. Third base is a little bit more. And when you run across that home plate, you've made just a tad more. So I use a lot of, and I just use a lot of little baseball tidbits in here because I think it fits trading very well, especially the base hits. And so if you just think about that, just base hits, what can it do for you? What can it do? Believe me, it does amazing things. Now, I'm not going to talk a lot about a bearish chart plan because for the most part, it's exactly the same except backwards. I want a chart that's trending down. Look how we're trending down here. And look how every time we come up to trend, every time we come up with trend, we start putting in consolidation or a rally, that's a sign to be looking short. As we come up to, there's another one right there. Here's another one right there. And there's a lot of traders, especially traders that feel like they have to get in early. They look at these as signs as bullishness. They buy into it and they end up losing money because they have it in their mind they have to buy super, super, super low. And that is like a major, major mistake. So bearish chart plan, I want the chart to be trending down. I want to wait for a sell signal. And again, I'm just looking for base hits. Okay, let's look at some charts. So I can tell you right now that the charts we're looking at today, I think maybe all except one, I think, are charts that are actually on my watch list for the upcoming week, 2 weeks, or even 3 weeks. These are all stocks that's active in my watch list. It doesn't mean that I'm in them. It just means they're active. I have them. I'm waiting for an entry. Doesn't mean I'm going to enter all of them. In fact, I guarantee you I won't do that. Under no way is this some recommendation to buy. I just want to show you what I'm looking at and to show you how I've done this, because I think what I've done is pretty good and I think it can help the new trader. I truly do. So NVDA is what I'm looking at. And can you imagine when I was trading only stocks, I could never trade a stock like NVDA. $156 stock, Lord no. But now I can buy a contract, maybe two. And all I need this to do is move up to first base, second base, or third base. So what is first base? Again, that can be that can be kind of suggestive. It really can. But I'm going to trade the chart and I'm going to look for good target points. And this might be a good target point right here. Simply where price has been. And we can move this over here as well. You can see there. So if price has been right here, that's what I might look for. So if I buy this, and if I bought it, it would be somewhere in this area right here. And if somebody's wondering, well, what price would you buy it at? You're going to find that I really don't care much about what price I buy it at. I just need to buy it in this area. Then as price moves up, as long as price is showing positive trading, I might stay with it or I might sell half if I'm feeling nervous or uncomfortable, which more times than not, I'm selling half. If I have one contract, I might sell the whole thing. The other target I might be looking at is up into this area right here. So if I had two contracts, I would sell one, base hit, and then manage the trade up and try to get the second one up into this area. What if it didn't go up there and we started to get a candlestick sell signal maybe, or a chart pattern? Would I be happy with it here? Let's see. Buy approximately 150, we'll call it 157, sell at 190. I could do that. That's pretty good money. If you know anything about options, you know that's good money. The stock trade might be 3, 4, 5, 6%. That's nothing great. That's not bad. But the option trade can actually be 20, 30%. It is truly amazing what can happen. And I'm not here to talk you into options. I'm not in here to do that at all. We're looking at charts that you can make plenty of money on as a stock trader if you stay a stock trader. But if you want to know how the account increased 307%, this is how I did it. Another trade is JD. Now, JD is actually one that I am currently in. In fact, I bought it yesterday just as a kind of a show and tell with one of our members. They were asking questions, and I said, well, let's just do it by the numbers, and I just bought one contract. So here's JD, and one of my favorite chart patterns is when a chart moves up, comes back, and then starts to move up like that again. So that's why I went ahead and bought it. Now, I was going to wait till it broke out, but again, I was doing a show and tell with one of our members, and I said, well, let's just do it. Let's just do it like we would do it. So I did it. So I am currently long. I will add to JD on a breakout and a successful test, or maybe if it pulls back a little bit or gives me an inside day, but I feel comfortable about the price action and the market as well. So all I'm doing is looking for, at this point, the option is just, I'm in the position. I've just used the option to simply leverage my money. I'm looking for a directional trade. So at this point, all I'm looking at is the chart. That's it. That's all I care about is the chart. So I'm managing this chart as we move up to areas that might show resistance. And by the way, resistance for me is not a reason to panic. But what it is, it's one of those little tools that we want to be alerted of that, okay, there's resistance there. Now I'm going to watch the candle pattern, and the candle pattern might be totally bullish and work, but I know when a stock, if it was to work out and break through resistance, what do you think the chances are of testing that is? Pretty darn good. And if we test and come below support, then I'm going to take at least half off that trade. Okay, so, and sometimes in general, it's just good to take some profits off at that first base or maybe that second base. I'm a big believer in taking profits off up into strength, and not trying to capitalize on the entire trade. Yeah, let's see. There we go. URI. This is another trade that I think is setting up very nice. And by the way, most of what we're looking at is my favorite strategy, which is called the rounded bottom breakout. And there's some really good names that's set up in that rounded bottom breakout strategy right now. So here we are. A chart has done what I think all charts should do: low to a high, to a higher low, to a higher high before you buy it. In fact, a lot of times I'll ask traders, one of the questions I might ask a trader that I'm coaching or trader that's struggling and ask this type of question is, I might ask them, where's the bottom of this chart? And I'll tell them, look, this is a trick question. It really is. Well, we can clearly see that is the bottom. We can clearly see that. But now I ask them, where's the tradable bottom? Where's the tradable bottom? And see, I would argue that the tradable bottom is once we break out. So low, high, higher, low, this is the tradable bottom. So that's what I look at on a trade. So now what I want to do is, now that we've broken out, which this is still below the 50-day simple moving average. That's what that is right there. So it doesn't fit my strategy. So I'll say for today, I'll wait on this, which I did not buy it. Now that it's broken out over that 50-day simple moving average and it's pulled back, now we're above the 50. That becomes support. You can see that chart pattern, low to a high. There we are. It's just a continuation chart pattern. I love that. Targets for me are always up into these lines really quick. This is the 200 period simple, and this is the 200 front weighted measured on the low. We won't have time at all today to talk about that. But if you want to visit me sometime, I can certainly explain this to you very thoroughly. In fact, you might even find it on a YouTube video. So what I'm going to do here is, if I was looking to buy URI down into here, what I would do is take in consideration the chart pattern. And I would try to buy inside that chart pattern or a breakout with a test. So obviously I'm not in it here. I'm not. But it doesn't mean it's still not a trade. So it broke out. So now what I might be doing is, come next week, is look for a candle or candles that hold in. I'm going to redraw that box actually. There we go, the top of it. Hold inside what I would call an inside bar. And the inside bar can be the very next day. It could also be the very next day after that or the day after that inside of that breakout. So I might look for a buying candle here, and then I can start to manage my chart up and work toward my profit target, taking maybe first base off, taking a few dollars off at first base, manage the chart, maybe take some dollars off at second base. And usually by that time, I'm done with the trade. I don't usually buy enough to do it 3 times. A lot of traders do, but usually I don't do that. What I may do is take first base off and then don't take second off, but allow it to keep working as long as it continues to work out. DVN is another one setting up this way. Look how DVN has come off the bottom and put in this tight consolidation right here. Notice how it's pulled back to our trend line. See how the trend has been holding this back right here? Well, now that it's broken out, see how it tested the trend and now it's showing bullish consolidation? This becomes a chart to get serious about. And targets, I'm always going to start with this dotted deuce up here. I'm going to I call it the dotted deuce. Put a line right there. And then I'm going to match it up with price action. The price action itself may not give an exact point of reference. This line here may not be an exact point of reference, but that certainly is a pretty good idea. I mean, let's face it. If price did something like this, and it got up here and did this, what are you thinking? You thinking profits might be in order? I'm thinking yes. I'm thinking I'm adding to that overall trading account. So you bet I'm taking it. If you know options, if you understand options, with an entry in this area here, up here, that's, good Lord, that's $50, $60, $70 trade, 70% trade maybe. It can still be a great stock trade. Don't get me wrong. These are not just option trades. You can still trade stock with them. But there's no way in heaven's name you can increase account by 300% trading only stock trades. Let's look at another. I have to watch the time too. We're doing good. SLB. I'm like an SLB. So SLB gapped up. One thing I'm going to do is this whole strategy, the strategy, the RBB round to bottom breakout, is only good above the 50-day simple. So above that 50-day simple is where price has to stay, or for the most part, I don't want it. So what I would be looking for is price to it can go up if it wants. In fact, I would almost like it to go up another bar. But then what I would like is for a little consolidation and start to set up another price pattern. So what is a price pattern? Well, if we were to, what I would want to see in here is pretty much exactly what you see right there. Pretty much exactly. So if we do this, see how we rallied, oops, wrong one. There we go. See how we rallied up and consolidated? Now here's the rally up and there's the consolidation. So that's what I'm looking at for a chart plate. And notice at this point, I don't need to be really talking about any fancy pants option setup. I don't need to do that. What do I look for? I look for a delta, 70-ish. I'll take 65. I'll take 80. I'm looking for open interest, 10 times the amount, the price I'm going to pay. I'm looking to be 40 plus days out, even up to 100 days sometimes. Do I ever expect to hold it 100 days? No. I'm not that long-term of a trader. No, I don't. But I might get a better option play out of it, better cost or something. I might have my reasons. Again, the option side of things is simply leveraging my money. That's it. After that, it's just trade the chart. Let's see here. What's next? Take Hal. Look at Hal. Remember the chart we just looked at? Here's the same chart pattern right here. Here we rally up. Let's put this little box around it right here. There you go. So you could be a buyer. You could be a buyer in here. We've got a little, this is what I use candlestick signals probably a little different than the majority of people. I love candlestick signals. I think they're the greatest thing on earth. So I'm going to call this a morning star signal. Some people would argue with that fact. Again, I just want to say I look at candlesticks very, very different than what you might open up a book and look at. So we've got a nice little morning star signal. We've got a great little flag off this big candle here, off this run. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days inside day. We have a doji bullish engulf. Yeah, would that be a buy right there? Absolutely. What about the break? What if you didn't buy it here? Okay, no sweat. We have the breakout. Now what we're going to do is look at that same chart pattern again. So there's the breakout. Here's the breakout here. I mean, we broke out right here. There we go, right there. We broke out and consolidated. We broke out again. Now watch for that consolidation in there. Be a buyer here or on positive trading. The targets don't change. The targets are still up here. Here's some price action. Move it right along the top, and you can see we run right into that dotted deuce line. Just from here to here. Dude, that is fantastic money. It may not be great money for a stock trader to see 2.5%. So there's 2.5, there's 5, 7.5. That might be a 10% trade, which is not shabby for a stock trader. Not shabby at all. But that can easily be a 30, 40, 50% trade on a simple call option. Simple call option. Now, there is something that I think is important here. Is you have to be good at reading a chart. You have to be good with direction. You have to be able to look at a chart and say, you know what, I see this chart going higher. And you also have to understand that just because you see it doesn't guarantee it's going to happen. It doesn't guarantee that it's going to happen tomorrow or the next day. It may take a week before it actually does it, or longer. Excuse me. So one of the big keys is you've got to be a student of charts. You've got to really understand charting. That's the key. The option side of it for me is just a way to leverage money. It's a piece of cake. Nothing fancy pants about it. The chart is where the secrets are. The chart is the secrets. Here's SQ. Now SQ, I personally sold this yesterday, closed it out. There are some traders still in SQ. I turned my mic off. I hope that worked out, and I turned it back on. I had a little cough there, so I apologize. So I took my profits on SQ yesterday, and you can see how we had this little tight consolidation, and you can see how it moved into trend. See how it moved into trend right here? Right there. Started getting closer into trend. It doesn't have to touch it. It doesn't have to touch it. It just has to move toward trend. Look how trend has been holding it back, but now it's breaking out. And you know, we're going to look at other things too. Like, I mean, here's a nice little morning star signal. We go from a low to a high to a higher low to a higher high. So here's that trick question. Where's the tradable bottom? No, it's not right here. No, it's not right here either. It's above that line right there. Low, high, higher low, higher high. That's the tradable bottom. That one little thing right there, I have seen take traders that's been losing for years, and that one thing right there sets them free, and they are now money makers by just understanding and trading away from the bottom. Let trend start. So here, trend has been down. There's the red showing that it's been down. And now trend is moving up. And now we look for those chart patterns that might tell us that it's time to start buying. I'm a big chart pattern trader, so I look for these sort of things. I look for charts that rally. I never try to catch that first rally. And then I look for consolidation or pullback. And I want to be a buyer in this area or on that breakout. And the money is made on that run. And that run now starts this run again. So here we are, consolidation, we break out. There's the money-making run right there. So if you buy it somewhere in here, somewhere on that breakout, somewhere in here, somewhere on that breakout, that's how I'm swing trading and profiting. Here's a chart that's showing a weekly and a daily chart, CRON. I wanted to show a weekly chart because I look at 2-day, 3-day, and weekly charts an awful lot. Again, we didn't have time to get into the 2-day or 3-day, so I just jumped to weekly chart. And one thing I want to look for on a weekly chart is a good trend. I mean, think about it. If you have a good trend on a weekly chart, then you can switch to a daily or good trend on a weekly chart. Watch how price pulls back into trend. When you see it into trend, then you can move into the daily chart for entries. I like my entries on the daily chart. So I might move to that daily chart to look for those entries. For instance, this might be an entry right here. I mean, I've confirmed with myself it's in a bullish trend. I've also confirmed with myself that we have a chart pattern right here getting ready to break out. So as we start moving, well, like this right here might be a place that I start looking for an entry. Right in here is a place I might start looking for an entry. And now that we're about ready to break out, what I want to see is that breakout and a simple test. So we break out of resistance. It now becomes support, and I want to see that test. So what chart pattern have we made here? We've made the, let's change color. We've made the rally. We've made the consolidation. So let's move this. There's the consolidation. And now we're looking to make money on that run right there. And again, when it comes to entries, I don't get all wound up in $15.63 or even $16.26. That may seem like a lot of money to some folks, but if you're swing trading, it's minor. It's very, very minor. And I have found if you're swing trading for 2, 3, 4%, the odds of you ever making it down the road are slim to none. Because by the time you put some losses in there, and we all have losses, it'll just chew your profits up like crazy. So here's Nike. Nike is another one I'm looking at. I really like Nike a lot. Let's see. This is the, I think this is the weekly chart on Nike. So here's the weekly chart. Look how, do you think you could have made some money right here on Nike? Look at that trend. Look how that trend, man, that thing just moving up. So you start switching to some of those daily charts and look for those entries so you can catch some of the swings. Well, here now, over here, Nike got into a downtrend, started trending down, bumping up against resistance, and now it's starting to turn. And here, you can see that it is broken out over resistance. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 touches, 5 touches that it is broken out of now. So what I would be looking for is that consolidation at this level, right? So here's the trend. Whoops, wrong one. There's the trend. There's the consolidation. And now we can be a buyer in that consolidation or on that breaking out, looking for that breakout. So I might go to that daily chart and to help with those entries. So if I look at this, I wouldn't touch Nike right now. I need consolidation. So let that consolidation come in, and I'll put it right down into here, which, let me redraw that actually. Let's take these highs. There we go. That's better. And as that happens, then you have to know that our trend is going to continue to move up. And then what we're going to do is look for buy signal in here as price moves closer to trend or on that breakout here. And for those looking at the chart, you may be saying, well, hey, isn't this resistance up here? Sure it is. Absolutely. And if you feel like you want to wait for it to break out here, wait for it. When I see a chart pattern being made, the chart pattern has to have a high. And on the weekly, this is the high. So I look at this as I would try to myself, if I get into it, I want to look at this as maybe as a profit target for like first base, but look at holding it through the breakout. And it will have some consolidation here. There's no doubt about that. It's just normal. Okay, where are we? Oh, and here's Nike, just a bigger chart to show you here. So let me just run through that one more time on a bigger chart. So let's show, here's support. So what we're going to look for is, we already have that run. We're going to look for consolidation, a buy in there, or, a buy on the breakout right in here. Very simple. And simply use those options where to leverage your money. Again, years ago, it would be hard for me to buy an $80 stock. It really would be. And for those that have known me for a while, you know that I traded a lot of lower price stocks. And you can make a lot of money that way, believe me. It works. Sometimes it's hard to find good options with lower price stocks, but you can do it. So I want to do a little recap here. Basic option plan. I'm simply looking for directional options. Open interest of 10 times the amount of my purchase. Very simple. A delta of 70, I didn't put the ish in here, 70-ish for calls, plus 70-ish for calls, minus 70-ish for puts. 40 plus days. I'll even go 200 days out, but I do want 40 days. There are those rare times where I will take less than 40 days. Take a stock maybe moving up into earnings, because I typically don't like to hold through earnings. If I know I'm only going to look at something for 10, 15, 20 days, there are those times I will take something less, but that's kind of a rare thing for me to do. Bullish chart recap. I simply want a trending chart up. Again, trending chart, you're going to have to write some definitions for yourself. What is a trending chart? Because there's a lot of people that say that's not trending. Well, you're right. In the bigger picture, it's not. But for my trade, it is. We have changed directions, and if we draw a trend line down, you can see we've broken out of our trend line here. So that is, to me, that is nearly a perfect setup on a chart. I want to wait for a pullback or consolidation. I want to wait for a buy signal, and I want to take base hits. Okay. Let's see. All right. I just wanted to make sure the slide I was on. And again, I want to say thank you to everybody. I want to try to wrap it up here. I don't want to be the first guy to get us off timing. I realize the importance of staying on time. So we have three main services here. I have a lot of questions. See, I don't see questions. Dashboard questions. So somebody just told me that there's questions, and I don't see any questions. Darn it. I'm trying to find it. The dotted line, somebody asked and I apologize. I have not seen any questions throughout this morning. I guess I don't know how to find them here. Somebody asked what the dotted line is. Look, take notes, and this is recorded, by the way. It's the 200 period moving average measured on the low. It's the 200 period front weighted moving average measured on the low. And again, I have that in some YouTube videos. If you have TC2000, it's really easy to set up. It's a piece of cake. And most other programs, you can set it up like that as well. I thank you for typing that question there. Do I trade ETFs like the SPY? Yes, I do. I absolutely do. I truly do. Let's see. Do you exit a losing trade before expiration? Yes, I do exit. That's a great question. Let's go back to a chart. If I was to buy Hal, this is important, folks. Notice in anything I said here, look at this. I never even mentioned the word expiration. I don't care about expiration. All I care about is giving myself enough time to be right on the trade, right on direction. That's it. So if I'm in a trade like SQ, for example, and I buy that trade and I've got 50 days until expiration. If I can make my $300, $400, $500 in 3 days, I'm out. I don't wait till expiration. This is something that I cannot stress this enough to you. Options for me is simply a way to leverage my money. How much would it cost you to buy this stock? Stock. How much would it cost you to buy this? Options. And trust me, it's a world of difference. Before I ever traded directional options, I would have to spend $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 for a stock like this. Now, honestly, every trade I make is less than $2,000 invested. And when I first started out, I was only trading with $500 invested. So what a huge difference. When it comes to the trading, again, I don't wait for expiration because I'm trading the chart, not the options. I'm just using options to leverage my money. That's it. Let's see here. Never looked at options for, are these daily charts we are looking at? Yes, and it has nothing to do with the options. In other words, your question should be broken into two questions. Question one is not really a question. You're actually making a statement. You've never traded options. Okay, thanks for sharing. Question two is, are these daily charts we are looking at? Yes, they are. The red and green line, that's actually the 17 exponential moving average is what that is. We use two tools to put that together. It's the 17 exponential moving average, and it's the volatility alert wrapped around it. It's complicated to explain, and I'm working on a PowerPoint, so there's no way I can show you how to do it. And again, with the time, it's difficult. It's no secret. I'm more than happy to share it with everybody. It's not a huge secret, but it's just taking the volatility and wrapping it around, and we're currently using the exponential, moving 17 exponential. So, and you can use the 20, by the way. I don't know that. Look, when it comes to indicators, I'm a little bit light on indicators. And say this happens to be the 17, but if you made it to 20, it's not going to make a difference, because your trading should be something that works for you. And you're going to find just as many charts that pull back to that 20 trend as you will that pull back to that 17 trend. You're going to find charts with a red downtrend like this that switch to a green uptrend, just as many using the 20 as you will the 17. You could use the 50 simple if you want. Remember, as a trader, you're not trying to copy anybody. That is mistake number one right there. Be your own trader. Be the trader that you create your own world and trade within your world. That's one of the secrets. I really need to get to this last slide, so this is important because I think I have some things to say here. And first of all, I want to say thank you for allowing me to be here. And I put some red stars by these new traders, struggling traders, and right on the edge traders. I've got a few tips for you here that I think are important, far more important than any chart that I've shown you, far more important than anything I've shown you today. I think this is more important. The problem is nobody listens to this stuff. Everybody wants a chart. Give me a chart. Give me an entry. Give me a target. Give me an exit. By God, I can do it. And I would argue, no, you cannot. No, you cannot. Number one, if you're a new trader or a struggling trader, stop trying to make money in the beginning. Just stop it. It won't work. You can't. You've got to pay your dues. You can't just crack a book open, take a trading course, and bada boom, bada bang, you're making money the next day. It doesn't work that way. It really doesn't. So stop trying to make money in the beginning. Number two, don't push trades. Do you know how frustrated I was yesterday? Some of my own members buying into positions yesterday. Seriously? We're going into a 3-day weekend. By the way, these are the traders that are struggling traders that I know are struggling traders. They're buying into positions or shorting because they can predict what's going to happen come Tuesday. So we've got a 3-day weekend. We've got we won't even get into what we have, but a mess. And really, you're going to push a trade? Don't push trades. Let them come to you. Remember, let the chart come back to you. You be the controller there. Trade only in trends. Stop picking the bottoms. If you can't see a low, high, higher low, higher high, don't trade it. Don't try to pick bottoms. I have yet in my life, 31 years, and I've met a lot of traders. I've never met a successful trader that picks bottoms. Never. Sure, we all throw one in every now and then. We all do. But as a rule of thumb, that is not our bread and butter. Trust me, you cannot make money picking bottoms. You can't make money picking tops either. The last one in here, well, not the last one, is be patient. Don't feel like you have to buy or sell something every single day. I know traders that they sign up for a service, they pay $85 a month, and deep in their mind, they may not say it, but deep in their mind, they're thinking, by God, I paid $85 a month. I'm going to trade. I need my money back. Whoa, major mistake. Stop trying to make money in the beginning. You experienced traders that are profitable, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've been there. You know what I'm talking about. The last one in here, this goes to new traders, and maybe struggling traders need to back up and think about it. Don't expect magic in the beginning. Look, you've got some great traders coming on after me. I am honored to be here with this group of people. But I'm telling you, if you go out and take a 30-day trial and you're expecting magic fairy pixie ducks to fall on you and you're going to make money, don't. Give it time. Do you think any one of the traders talking today made money the first year they were trading? Ask them. I know what they'll tell you. They'll tell you, heck no, it took time to learn. It takes time. But once you learn, it's one of the greatest jobs in the world. Okay, I think I'm out of time. Let's see. I'll answer questions until I'm cut off. What is that line that changes? Okay, I answered that. This line, and please, if you can, I'll be glad to share this with you. Just working on a PowerPoint, it's hard to explain that. It's simply the volatility stop, It's a tool indicator in TC2000 that's using, we're currently using the 17 EMA as the data source. And it was just by accident we found it, but it just turns it from red to green or green to red. Really kind of a cool visual indicator. So.
Alrighty.
Okay, cool. Thank you again, everybody. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Rick. That was great. Awesome. Again, for those of you that don't remember, it is Rick at Hit and Run Candlesticks. Really appreciate you being on today.